Hello friends, and welcome to Vatican Echo. A truly historic and joyful moment took place at St. Peter's Square on the Solemnity of All Saints on the 1st of November 2025. Under the warm November sun and before thousands of faithful, Pope Leo XIV proclaimed Saint John Henry Newman as the 38th Doctor of the Church. This event also marked the culmination of the Jubilee of the World of Education, celebrating the sacred mission of teachers and students everywhere. The Pope called Newman a light for the new generations, a man whose thought, faith, and vision can guide the youth of today in a world often darkened by confusion and injustice. Pope Leo XIV presented Saint John Henry Newman as a master of education, both in theory and in practice. He said Newman's vision reminds us that education is not just about learning facts, but about forming real people, men and women who understand their dignity and mission. The Pope invited educators to offer the kindly light of faith to a world struggling with doubt and fear. He said, "Our task is to disarm the false reasons for resignation and powerlessness, and to transmit light and guidance." Newman's famous hymn, "Lead, Kindly Light," became the central symbol of this message, a light that leads humanity through the darkness of uncertainty, towards faith and hope. The atmosphere at St. Peter's Square was filled with warmth, joy, and reverence. A gentle sunlight bathed the crowd, students, teachers, priests, and pilgrims from across the world. Among them stood an official delegation from the Church of England, led by Archbishop of York Stephen Cottrell, showing a beautiful gesture of unity between Christians. During the homily, Pope Leo reminded everyone that Newman's writings, especially in meditations and devotions, reflect deeply on the mystery of the human person and the variety of gifts God has given each of us. He said, "Life becomes luminous when we discover, as Newman did, that each one of us has a vocation, a mission, and that our lives serve something greater than ourselves." Pope Leo emphasized that education must always be centered on real people, not just abstract ideas or grades. He called on schools and universities to become gateways to peace and dialogue, where no one is excluded, especially those who struggle or feel left behind. He reminded us that every student has something uniquely valuable to offer, and it is the duty of educators to help that light shine. In a beautiful gesture, the Pope also announced that Saint John Henry Newman will now be the co-patron of the Church's educational mission, alongside Saint Thomas Aquinas, uniting the wisdom of intellect with the warmth of faith. He invited all educators and students to shine like stars in the world, echoing the words of Saint Paul to the Philippians. Reflecting on the challenges of our time, Pope Leo spoke of the darkness of nihilism, a growing emptiness that threatens to cancel hope. But he reminded us that education, when rooted in faith, becomes a seed of hope, a way to guide humanity toward meaning and light. Quoting Newman's own words, the Pope said, "Lead, kindly light, amid the encircling gloom, lead thou me on." This hymn, written when Newman was still an Anglican, continues to inspire millions, a prayer for those who feel far from home, unsure of their way, yet trusting in God's gentle guidance. The Pope called schools and universities laboratories of prophecy, places where hope is studied, lived, and shared. He urged Catholic educators to form people who live the gospel, especially the Beatitudes, and to make learning a journey toward holiness. In closing, Pope Leo XIV reminded everyone that education, in its truest form, helps people become saints. He echoed Pope Benedict XVI's words at Newman's beatification. "What God wants most of all is that you become holy. He loves you more than you can imagine." Saint John Henry Newman now stands as a doctor of the Church, a guide for teachers, students, and seekers everywhere. May his kindly light continue to lead us, through difficulties to the stars, toward faith, truth, and holiness.